Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful Plumeria bracelet created by Christy on Instagram. Her username is 7284Christy. I will link it down below so you can check out her page. She has been posting upcoming designs or things that she comes up with, so definitely check her out. I think she did a wonderful job on this one here, and the color combo on this one here was actually her original idea, and I love it. I think it's really cool looking and unique. So I'm going to be sticking with this version today where I do two different colors on the side. I will explain how to do this if you wanted to do that version. Also, we will not be doing a full-length bracelet. We're going to make a fishtail extension today. I'm going to use the auto loom for that, but you can use, if you don't have that, you can use your hook or 2 pins on the loom. So with that being said, you will need 150 bands plus approximately 25 extension bands. The breakdown is 48 of the navy blue, sits here as well, 22 of the glitter blue, 22 of the glitter yellow, 18 of the glitter pink, 18 of this mother of pearl, and 22 of this pastel, I guess it's a green, but right here. You will need 1 C-clip, of course your hook, and I'm going to show you guys the loom setup. So let's go ahead and get our supplies ready. To make this bracelet, you will need to have at least 5 bar pins. You're going to have them in the normal staggered setup, but if you do want a full-length bracelet, have another 5 bars set up right in front of this one. I'm only using the 1 set, like I said in the intro, because I'm doing an extension. But the first thing we are going to choose is going to be the border, and that is the navy blue that sits right here on the side. So I'm going to grab one. I'm going to lay it loosely on the center for when we close it. And then we'll go diagonally to the left 2 times. And then we'll go diagonally to the right 2 times. We're now going to go up the sides. If you're using just 1 loom set like me, starting from this corner one and that first one being 1, we're going to lay a total of 10 straight ones. If you want to do a full-length bracelet, you're going to lay 22 straight ones. It will not take you all the way down to the end of the loom if you're using 2 loom setups, and that's just so you can follow along with me. So make sure you do only lay the number that I'm telling you. After you've laid 10 straight ones, you're going to then bring it in to meet up with that center pin there, and it should be the last center pin if you're using just 1 setup. So as I said, we need to do that same thing to the left side. So go ahead and get that laid, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So this is what it would look like after both sides are completed. We're going to come back to the beginning now, and we're going to start laying a bunch of diagonal bands. Now for this part, if you like to do the color schemes that I do, you need to have all of your colors planned out. You need to know what colors you're going to be laying as your center. I call them starburst or flowers, because I like to match it to those. So I'm going to be doing this exact color combo where I lay 2 of the yellow, 2 of the pink, 2 of the blue, and so on and so forth. But if you wanted to do this type of color combination, you still would need to have all of the colors that you used for the starburst, but you also need to have 1 additional color, something else, which is what I used that purple for. And then we alternate every other row by laying 1 purple and then a color of a starburst. 1 purple, and then the color of our next starburst. And we keep alternating like that. Hopefully that's not too confusing. I just wanted to give you a little tip how I did that. But again, I'm going to be doing this style. So I will be starting with my blue. And on the second bar pin on the right, we're going to be doing a long diagonal stretch up to the second pin on the outer bar pin. If you liked this color combination, by the way, you're going to start by laying a purple here, or whatever, like your other color. Whatever color you're not using for the starburst, you would lay first, and then your next color would be whatever the first starburst color is that you're going to use. So for me, it would be blue. And then your next one would be purple again, or your second color, and then you would lay your next starburst color. All right, I don't want to be confusing people, so enough about that color combo. Let's get back to this one. I've laid 1 blue, and now I need to lay 1 more because this is going to be the color of my first starburst. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the left side while we're here. So from the second bar pin, do a long diagonal stretch down to the second pin and do the same with the one underneath so it's matching on both sides. I'm going to choose my second color and I'm going to be using yellow next in line. So right under that, I'm going to lay 2 yellow long diagonals and match that on the left side. Now I'll go to my pink. I'm only using 3 colors, so I'll alternate 3, but keep laying them in sets of 2 if you want to do my color combo. I'm going to go back to my blue. And now my next color is yellow. Alrighty, that is it. I have laid my last set of diagonal bands. We do not lay anything on this last pin here. Alrighty, so we are now going to choose our next set of colors, and we're going to be alternating between 2 of them. The very first set, we're going to be laying zigzags on the sides. The very first set is going to be my mother of pearl right here. It also is there, but then we switch to the blue. So I'll grab my mother of pearl first. And from this corner pin here, we're going to go diagonally to the left. And then we'll bring it back in to the side. We'll go to our second color and do the same thing, but now with blue. So starting from this one, we'll go to the left and then in. We'll go back to my first color. And we're going to keep doing that and alternating the 2 colors. We're just going to zigzag all the way down. Looks like little sideways V's since we're using 2 colors. But this part specifically I think looks really good with 2 colors. Just gives it a little bit more definition to the bracelet. But we're going to zigzag down the loom, and I will show you when we get down there because we are not going to lay it on the very last pin that we're supposed to lay it on. So I am down here, and you can see I started with my blue, and we're supposed to go in again to connect it to the corner for our last one. Do not lay that one. If you do, it's fine, but it ends up being really loose at the bottom of the bracelet. So I originally made it with it, but it was hanging out really, really loosely, so I broke it off. So leave that one empty. We're going to come back to the beginning. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. Just pay attention to whatever color you started with so you don't accidentally start with the opposite color. You want both of them to match. And now go ahead and keep alternating your 2 colors until you reach the end of the loom, and I will show you mine when I'm finished. So I'm probably a little bit ahead of you, but once you are caught up, just don't forget that you are not laying that last diagonal band at the end. Make sure it looks just like your right side. I already pushed mine down. So we're going to come back to the beginning, and this next part is very easy. We're just going to lay a single chain on the second rose in from the middle, and that's going to be that pastel greenish color right there. We're just going to lay a single chain going all the way down. So starting right here, just go all the way straight. All the way straight, I said. All the way down. Until you reach your border at the end of the loom. Just like that. Go ahead and do that same thing to the left side, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So once both of those are laid, it will look like this. And we have one more set of bands, which is filling out the center to get all of those flowers or starbursts filled in. So this is where we're going to choose whatever color you decided to lay for your diagonal bands if you're doing the color combo that I'm doing. So I'll be sticking with my blue, yellow, and pink glitter. So I'm going to grab whatever glitter color I laid first, and that is blue. So I know my first starburst is going to be blue. And we're going to start on the middle going straight. we're going to go diagonal left and right. And now we'll go diagonal up left and right. And then straight. Now, the order that I lay them is very important. You don't want to go laying it like a traditional starburst where you start here and then just keep going around in a circle. So make sure you do lay it like I did, where we lay it straight, and then these ones going like this, and then the up ones going like that, and then straight. Important for the looping. So now I'm going to go to my second color, which I can see here that I laid yellow as my second set of colors. We're going to start by laying one going straight. We will do the left and right diagonally down bands. And then we will do the diagonal up bands. And then straight. Grab my last color, pink. We will go straight, diagonal left and right, diagonal up and straight. So keep alternating like that until all of your starbursts are filled out, and I will show you mine when we get to the end of the loom. So once they are all filled out, this is exactly what it will look like. After you do that, I've already started this step, but we need to do a triple cap band on the centers of each one of those. So I already did some of mine. I left 2 open, but I like to use whatever color that my little flower is. And then we're going to wrap the band around the center 3 times. So it's technically every other pin, but the easiest way to look at it is just to triple cap the center of each flower, and you'll be good to go. Once you do that, we are ready to start the looping process. So go ahead and hit that pause button once you're caught up. Come on back and turn your loom around, and we'll be ready to start the looping. So I should have said to just go ahead and add your regular cap band onto that front pin while you were doing your other cap bands, but I did not say that. So you're going to grab your border color and do a normal double cap band just wrapped around twice at your front center pin there. And now we can start the looping. So we are not going to be going into those center cap bands to loom them out, which is probably what you thought we were going to do. We're actually going to start down here into this cap band and grab the top pink, and that is going to go straight right on top of that cap band. Now from here, these next 4 bands do not get looped to themselves. So the first one, which will be this one right here, we're going to pull it over to the right. So we're going to reach down in here. You got to get that triple cap band out of the way. Make sure you're grabbing the next one in line, which again will be that one. You're going to pull it off the pin and pull it towards yourself so that you can get like in front of that center pin, and then pull it to the right. We'll go back in and we're going to grab the one that's on this side now. It's the next one in line. Once you move that triple cap band, pull it off the pin and act like you're going to pull it down so that you clear the center pin, and then pull it over to the left. So we're just swapping pins there. We're going to go up here. Well, actually, sorry, we're going to go back into the cap band. We're going to grab the next one in line, and we're going to bring this diagonally up. We're doing a long stretch. So this is where we took it from. It's not going here. It's going up one more. So from here to here to here is all one band. We'll go back in there, grab your last diagonal pink, and bring that one diagonally up to the left. The last one that we have for this color is a pink one down at the bottom. It's the last band in there, and you just bring that forward. So we're going to do that all over again. Hopefully you didn't find that too challenging, but we will always start our next color by looping it straight, sitting it right on top of that cap band that we have in there. Go into the center. You're going to move the triple cap band and grab your first diagonal band that's in line. We're going to bring that to the right. Make sure that the band is in front of the pin and not behind it. Grab your next one in line, and this one will go to the left, right here. Go back in. Your next one in line is going to do the long diagonal stretch up. So remember, it's not going here, it's going up there. Grab your next one, and that one is doing the long diagonal stretch up to the left. Go back in the middle and loop the last one forward. We're going to keep alternating that. So we will go ahead and start our blue. We will start by going straight. Our first diagonal blue is going to come to the right down here. And the second one will go to the left. It can take some time to get used to that looping. It's a little bit different. The next diagonal is going to go long diagonal stretch up to the right, and then a long diagonal stretch up to the left. And then the last one in there, the very bottom blue, will go forward. We'll do that again. So we'll start our pink, we'll go forward. Get inside your triple cap band, grab your pink, bring it to the lower right. Bring the next one to the lower left. Go back in. We're going to loop this the long diagonal upper right and long diagonal upper left. Grab your last pink in there and loop it forward. So go ahead and do that 2 more times. So I just want to show you guys, I am on my last starburst up here. And when you go in to do the ones where we do the long diagonal stretch, we obviously don't have any more pins left to do a long diagonal stretch. So you're still going to bring it to the same side that you normally would, but instead of stretching it up, since there isn't a pin, just bring it to the closest one right there. And then do the same to the one on the left side, like that. We will finish the section as normal, grabbing the bottom band and looping it forward. So this is what it looks like. Hopefully that wasn't too challenging for you. I know they go a lot of different which ways. But once you're done that, take a second, push them down, come to the beginning, and we are going to loop our next layer. So to loop our next layer, we need to come down into the cap band, and we need to start looping the border bands down here. So I'm going to grab my top blue, my navy blue, bring it to the right, and I'm going to go in and do the one to the left so they're both done. Now that we've done that, we are able to loop our next step, which is going to be that teal green that's running straight, or not teal green, pastel green. These ones right here. And this part's super easy. They're just getting looped straight up. So I'm going to start on the right one. Grab my pastel green, if it will let me, and loop it forward. Go into that one, grab the next one, and loop that forward. And we're just going to do that all the way up. This part's very simple. Just make sure that you are getting in front of the top layers. So I got that row done. You're going to do that same exact thing on the left side, starting in this pin right here, the second pin in. Just grab that pastel green, loop it up, and then follow it all the way up just like you did over here. So I will meet you back here when I have mine finished. So it will look like this once both sides are completed. We're going to come back to the beginning, and we're going to be looping our zigzag bands now, which are going to be my blue and my mother of pearl that go like this. So remember, we didn't lay one on that last one down here, but we are going to come down to the beginning and loop that last border so we don't forget to do that later. So come into the second pin, grab the very bottom border and loop it to the right, and do the same for the left one. Once that's done, we're going to start our zigzag bands. I'm going to do the right side first. We're going to come up to the second pin right here, and we're just going to loop this blue back to itself. We'll go into that pin and grab the mother of pearl and loop that back to itself. Make sure you're not grabbing any other bands like I am. And you're just going to keep going into the pin that you're on, grabbing your corresponding band and looping it back to itself. So it should be going right, left, like a zigzag. I know there's a lot of bands and a lot of colors on here, so just make sure you're grabbing the correct one. Once you've connected to that top corner, that was your last one. So the right side's done. You're going to do the same thing to the left side. Just remember, we are starting on the second pin because we didn't lay a first one. Loop your blue out, and then just keep going in and loop that up just like you did on the right side, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So I know I'm ahead of you, but once you are caught up with me, it will look like this. I just want to show you really quick what both sides look like. We're going to be looping our long diagonal bands now. So we're going to come back to the beginning, and I'm talking about these long stretched ones where I have 2 of each color. We're going to be looping them from the second rows in, and I do recommend you pushing down your outer bands to make this part a little bit easier. So I'm actually going to do the left side first. I feel like you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But if you're counting from the bottom, you're going to come up to the third pin. That's where my first diagonal yellow is. It will be the most bottom band that's in there, so push everything else out of the way. Grab your very bottom band, and we're going to loop this diagonally down to the left to the closest pin. So it's not going back to itself down here. It's going to the closest pin next to it, but downwards. I'm just trying to untwist that a little bit. So we're going to come up to the next one, do the same thing. Grab the very bottom band and loop it diagonally down. My next color is blue. So I need to push everything out of the way, grab my blue, and loop it down. My blue kind of blends in there, doesn't it? So just keep doing that all the way up the loom. We will need to do a little bit of fiddling when we take it off of the loom. Some of the bands are a little bit loose, so stick around to the end so we can get that fixed. When you grab your last diagonal, you're just going to bring it to the corner one there, just like we've been doing the other ones, but you do have to loop that. Don't forget it. Then we'll come back to the beginning and do the same thing on the right side. Remember, you're starting on the third pin up on your second row. Grabbing your bottom band and looping it to the closest pin. This time we're going to the right. Alright, I got my last one looped on the right side. So the only thing we have left to do is loop the border, which is super easy. So we're going to come back to the beginning. You can pick whichever side you want to do. I'll do the left so you can see it better. And we don't do anything fancy. We're just going to grab the very bottom band, which is our border on this corner pin, and loop it up. You're just going to keep grabbing the bottom band and looping it up to just a normal straight looped border. For this design, in case you do get ahead of me, you will want to release at least the sides with your hook, and then you can pull the 3 middle rows off. But I definitely recommend releasing those 2 outer rows with your hook. Once you reach the top up here, you're going to bring it into the center. You're still just grabbing the bottom band, like so. Come to the right side and do the same thing. Grab your bottom band and loop it up, and I will meet you guys back here when I reach the top. Okay, so I'm going to be finished before you, but once you're caught up, we are going to locate that single band that we laid here at the beginning. Reach down in that center pin and grab the other end. Bring both ends together. If you're doing an extension, you can temporarily C-clip it. If you have another hook, you can just push it in like that. Use another hook, release the sides, take it off of the loom, and then I'm going to show you how we do the extension. So when you take it off and you have it on your hook, just a FYI, the bracelet, when it was on the loom, the top side was actually facing down, so you will need to flip it over to get the signature side. As far as fixing things, I'll show you that in the end. I want to go ahead and get right into the extension. So I'm sure everyone knows how to do a fishtail, but just in case, if you're using a loom, you're just going, it doesn't even matter which side you attach it, but we need to get one band on each one of these pins to start. So carefully attach one to one side and one to the other like that. And then you're just going to lay two more straight ones. Let's get that out of there. Like so. And now you'll just start your fishtail as normal by looping the bottom two up. Keep laying a band and pulling up the bottom layer. So now I want to show you how to do it on the auto loom, which is my favorite way. It's kind of the same concept. We're going to load one band onto the left post and another band onto the right post. So just be careful with this part. Definitely don't want to go losing this band. And for this bracelet, it doesn't matter which side is facing up, but once you get both bands on there, you're going to load another one going straight across, and then one more. We should have 3 total, which does include our bracelet band. Just like any other fishtail, once you have 3 layers, we're going to push up on that, and voila. Push down after each one, load a new one on, and push. So I think this is going to be the new way that I recommend an extension is a fishtail. I'm not a big fan of single chains, and a lot of the designs that I get from other people are like really tight, thick designs, and a single chain just doesn't work for that. So if I wasn't filming, I could do this way quicker because I just keep hitting it on the table as I load, but I'm trying to work around my camera. But yeah, I think this is a very quick and fun way. So I'm not going to make the whole thing, but you're going to do that until it is long enough to fit your wrist. Like I said earlier, I needed to use approximately 25 bands total. So once you're done and you have it long enough to fit your wrist, you will need to flip over this last band so that there's only one of them. It's going to be a little loose. And then you'll just bring both ends together and attach your C-clip. So I'm going to do that really quick. Okay, so obviously I don't have a long enough fishtail to attach it, but you guys will just attach it like I did here on this one to the cat band. So really quick, just to show you as far as fixing things, a lot of my renditions, my mother of pearl and blue were like too loose and messy. If that happens to you, like the only one that's doing it right now is this one, just come on the back and grab the corresponding band and you just pull it. So what I usually do is just go through and grab each one and I pull it because you're not going to see the back side of it. It's going to be on your wrist. So I do that to all of them. And it tightens it up on this side to lay a little bit nicer. Also, you can untwist and untuck your border bands so that that's laying nicely. But other than that, there's nothing that you have to do. I'm going to fix mine off of camera. I'm going to set this piece to the side. But that is how you create the beautiful Plumeria bracelet created by 7284 Christy on Instagram. We both would love for you to tag us if you make one so we can see your renditions on Instagram. But if this video was helpful, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button down below. You guys let me know in the box below what you think about using the auto loom for the fishtail or just using fishtail in general when I'm doing extensions. Do you like that idea? Yes or no? Alright, but that will be it for today, you guys. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you really soon at my next video. Thanks, bye!